I'm Mark Sponsor from StormSurf.com, and here's the surf forecast for the Hawaiian Islands for the week starting Friday, June 17th. Brought to you by your surf authority, expert advice, and friendly staff, Hawaiian South Shore. First off, I'll do a quick review of what's gone on in the South Pacific Ocean over the past week. On Friday, a week ago, a gale developed in the Tasman Sea, producing a 26-foot seas, something like that, then blew up again, developed maybe 30-foot seas to 32-foot seas, pushing off to the north with a secondary bit of energy underneath that, but mostly blocked by New Zealand. Swell from that system has arrived in the Hawaiian Islands, small in size, filled in other South Polynesian islands, but it is arriving, providing rideable surf. Now, that gale also pushed east of New Zealand on Tuesday, generating higher seas in the 37-foot range, aimed well off to the northeast, and swell from this system is also pushing northeast towards the Hawaiian Islands. And not to be underrepresented, the North Pacific also developed a gale off Japan on Sunday, about 5 days ago. Seas were in the 32-foot range, small, and then it faded, but then pushed to the North Dateline region, producing 23-foot seas on Thursday, and swell from that system is also starting to hit the north shore of the Hawaiian Islands. So, swell from two directions at the same time in summer, not bad. Looking forward, our focus is squarely on the South Pacific Ocean. All right, this is the jet stream, winds up about 30,000 feet. These winds help support the formation of gales when they're formed, help direct their track. We're looking for a trough, a push in the jet to the north, just like what we see right here today. Now, winds are pretty light in the north, but what that helps do, create a clockwise flow aloft. That's the hallmark of low pressure, and it also does the same thing down at the ocean surface. And low pressure, if it's strong enough, generates winds. Winds, if they're strong enough, generate seas. Seas, as they radiate away from the fetch area, eventually turn into swell, and swell, when it hits the south shore, turns into surf. So we have a trough, not a very strong one though, but wind energy is forecast building, so New Zealand is right there, Antarctica in pieces down here, and ice is right along about the 68-degree line here. But winds are starting to build, or will start building on Saturday, in the 150 knot range, pushing north, and then intersecting with the northern branch of the jet, setting up another reasonably high energy trough as we get into Sunday and Monday. And look at this, as we get into later Monday, pretty well organized trough here, again supporting that clockwise low pressure circulation aloft and down at the ocean surface. That trough's supposed to continue into Tuesday. Then you see the winds coming from the Tasman Sea, pushing hard southeast, cutting off that trough. That's called a ridge, and that pretty much is the end of that until we get maybe later in the week. Hard to say, but a weaker pattern is forecast after that. All right, that's up 30,000 feet. Let's go talk about what's happening down at the ocean. It is wind interacting with the ocean surface that generates waves, all right? So surface level pressure, surface level winds, New Zealand, Australia, Antarctica. Remnants of the low pressure system that was southeast of New Zealand that produced swell that is radiating north is to fade out. Now we know there's another trough forecast, and sure enough, as we get into Sunday, low pressure starts developing. 30, 35, almost 45 knot winds are forecast, aimed due to the north, and looking pretty solid indeed as we get into Sunday night, producing up to 50 knot winds aimed off to the north, and then quickly pushing off to the northeast, secondary fetch from that in the 30 to 35 knot range into Tuesday, continuing to circulate into Wednesday. Now this is at about 150 west, the Hawaiian Islands, roughly 157, 158, and off the top of the chart here. So some of this fetch might produce sideband swell aimed at the Hawaiian Islands, and then as we get into later part of the work week, everything fades out. Yes, another gale is forecast, but most of that pretty weak energy and aimed off to the east, probably not doing a whole lot in terms of swell production. So let's take a look at the effect of those winds on the ocean surface. Remnant energy, this is Friday, the 17th, today. Remnant energy from the gale that was previously just southeast of New Zealand fades out, but we know another gale is forecast to develop, and sure enough, there it is on Sunday. Small area of 27-foot seas right here, the highest seas over this entire area, and that pushes well to the north with seas building to 29 feet as we get into Sunday night. That might be good enough for some swell production for the Hawaiian Islands, and then seas build to 37 feet and barely in the Hawaiian swell window on Monday, but a lot of this energy aimed off to the east. That's, we'll say, sideband energy. So we get into Tuesday, sure, 39-foot seas forecast, but pretty well east of the Hawaiian swell window. So hard to say, but probably not a lot from the second part of that system. Then additional fetch in the 20 to 22-foot sea area aimed up at the Hawaiian Islands, but that's only good for maybe 13 or 14-second period swell. We'll say background swell energy possible for the Hawaiian Islands a week out. So let's put this all together. First, the North Shore of Hawaii. Japan swell on Saturday, supposed to be fading from about 1.6 feet at 12 to 13 seconds. That's 2-foot Hawaiian, chest high, something like that. And then more of the same on Sunday, but energy from the north dateline building in over top at 1.6 feet at 13 to 14 seconds. Again, about 2-foot, chest high, shoulder high at top spots, something like that. And the north dateline swell then fading on Monday from 2.1 feet at 11 to 12 seconds. So 2.5 feet, we'll say maybe head high, something like that, and fading more on Tuesday, 1.5 foot, so waist high, and after that, nothing. And then looking at the South Shore, Saturday, Tasman sea swell, 1.2 feet at 14 to 15 seconds, so about 2 foot, chest high, something like that, fun size surf, good for building your skill. Sunday, the Tasman sea swell pulses, surges to 1.8 feet at 16 seconds, so 2.5 to 3 foot, theoretically up to a foot overhead. If you're less experienced, maybe proceed with a little bit of caution, stay away from top breaks. Monday, Tasman sea swell fading from 1.5 feet at 14 to 15 seconds, 2 foot, so chest high, something like that. And Tuesday, more of the same, Tasman sea swells fading out at 1.2 feet at 14 seconds, so waist high. But the swell from New Zealand starts arriving, building to 1.5 feet at 17 seconds later. So 2.5 foot, that's Hawaiian. That'd be head high on the face. And building more on Wednesday to 2 feet, 15 to 16 seconds. So 3 foot Hawaiian, 6 feet on the face, and continuing after that. So, combos swell through the weekend for both the North Shore and the South Shore. North Shore, rideable, even into maybe Tuesday of next week. South Shore, continuing rideable through the weekend in the fun size range, and then maybe pulsing a little bit more at times, and with the New Zealand swell arriving midweek and continuing on beyond that. So, nice run of fun-size surf is expected, a little bit more at times. So, go get it, have a good time. And be sure to do all your shopping at Hawaiian South Shore. And we'll do this again next week, same time, same channel. Thanks for watching.